never stepped out of bounds.
Stepped out. Yeah. Participation. That's a 15-yard.
I know that wasn't David Shaw. I know that wasn't his son playing receiver. And I know he was not begging me to throw an unsportsmanlike foul call when he's wearing a Sacred Heart prep shirt in the game in which he's not coaching because he's the head coach of Stanford football. Let's get into this. Welcome back to the Grandmaster Troll officiating show. It is me, your host, the Grandmaster Troll, here to give you the best officiating. And today we're going to do some trolling content YouTube has to offer. But this is why I put my hat on with the GoPro, because I could show the world how these people act out here on the football field and basketball court. And today, boy, do we have a doozy, because I was just minding my own business, chilling. You know, I uploaded the game between Sacred Heart Prep and Sacred Heart Cathedral Prep to the officiating crew. And somebody on the officiating crew pointed out that was Stanford football head coach David Shaw asking for fouls. And they asked me, do I remember? And of course, no, going out through all these games, going about life, I vaguely remembered a fan in the SHP Sacred Heart Prep hoodie on wanting me to give somebody a warning. So, you know, when fans of the who are, you know, biased because they're wearing the hoodies of the team that they're supporting, I take what they say with a grain of salt, but I stay professional. I gave Mr. Shaw, who I didn't recognize him at first, but he looked really familiar. But I didn't do nothing disrespectful. No, as referees, we gotta stay professional. So I gave him a little nod. Then I turned around, I went back to doing my job as a football official. But as the plays were going on, I was thinking, that guy, he reminds me of somebody, but I didn't put it together. But when I got the email from the president of the association that was David Shaw begging for an unsportsmanlike call, I had to break it down. So with that said, let's go look at the film, because we got a whole lot to talk about what happened. Let's see if we can pull it up. Now, for those of you that don't know, you see this number 6 guy right here. We got to talk about number 6. We got to talk about him, you know, because, you know, here at the Grandmaster Troll officiating show, I'm all about the student athletes. And this young man right here, let's see if I can pull him up. This young man right here, number 6, is Jerry Mixon Jr., 3-star football recruit. I had to look him up because in the email, you can see, I'll put some of the email, you know, that they told me he was a 3-star football recruit. I went and Googled him, and lo and behold, he is committed to Oregon. That's right, your boy Jerry Mixon. Congratulations to that young man. He's committed to Oregon, so he's out there on the football field. He is in his sanctuary. He is living his best life. So I guess we go back to the film. You know, we're doing a penalty enforcement of a play that I will break down. It was the illegal participation play. I will break that play down because we've got a whole lot to talk about during that play, but that'll be another video. But this is your boy Jerry Mixon right here. You know, the crowd's talking to him. You'll be able to hear it. But let's go ahead and run the tape.
No, it's a legal test. The receiver stepped out of bounds.
Stepped out. Yeah. Participation. That's a good team.
So you see your boy, Mr. Jerry Mixon Jr. You know, he's giving the crowd the thumbs up. No, they're talking trash to him. No, it's all innocent. Let's go ahead and listen to it. So they're yelling at him scoreboard because at this time Sacred Heart Prep is winning and Jerry Mixon, he's not saying nothing. This is what he does. So you see he points to, because you know these kids, you know, they got these gloves on with different teams. So apparently, from what I was told, from what I understand, is he has a picture of the Oregon logo on the palm of his hand. So I guess he's telling the crowd or who's ever talking trash to him that, hey, he's got a full ride to Oregon. It don't matter about the scoreboard because we got a full ride to Oregon and he's going to have a chance to play on Sundays. Let's get back to the tape right here. This is beautiful. This is why I wear the GoPro. This is why I wear it for moments like this. But let's get back to the tape. So I guess he's pointing at somebody in the crowd. I have no idea but what he's doing, but we fast forward later and this is what happens next. Oh, no. The head coach of Stanford football. He don't want me to throw a flag. He want me to give him a warning. A warning. Now, Coach Shaw, with all due respect, we all know Jerry Mixon Jr. You know, he's a 3-star. He could work himself into a 4-star or 5-star recruit during the season. But from what I saw throughout that game, Jerry Mixon was handling his business on the football field. Your son was playing wide receiver, and it looked like he was getting the better of your son. And when it comes on Saturdays, you're going to have to deal with Jerry Mixon Jr. So, Coach David Shaw, I am disappointed. And this is why. This is why I'm disappointed in David Shaw. Let's see if I could pull this up real quick. I got to pull this up real quick. Give me 1 second. This is why I'm disappointed in your boy, David Shaw. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Okay, so this is why I am disappointed and your boy David Shaw. I pulled up the Stanford, football schedule. Right now, Stanford Cardinal football is not ranked in the top 25. But it gets worse. It gets worse because when I click on great thing about ESPN is I could go and I could pull up the win-loss record of your squads and see how y'all performing out on the football field. And last season, Stanford Cardinal football, led by David Shaw, was 3-9, a flat-out disappointment. And then we go to, I gotta go to 2020. Okay, they were 4-2, but in 2020, unfortunately, it was a COVID year, and unfortunately, and there it go right here. In 2020, they were a 4-2 football team, but unfortunately, in 2020, we were dealing with COVID. Things had shut down. Unfortunately, Stanford, they didn't play in the SEC. They didn't play in the Big 12 or the Big 10 or the ACC or somewhere on the East Coast, because if you lived out during the West Coast during COVID years, as soon as you got up out of bed, they were making sure people had their COVID mask on. And if you didn't have your COVID mask on, they were fining you to try to get you fired from your jobs and all this other nonsense. But that was in 2020. So 2020, it doesn't count if you were a West Coast football team. But we go to 2019. When I went to 2019, David Shaw, you got some explaining to do, because when I pulled up your record, you guys are right here at 4-8. David Shaw. David Shaw. I need you to step into my office, because it appears to me from what I've seen, 3-8 or 4-8, and that was the last full football season. COVID, it don't count. 2021, you coming back from COVID, you went 3-9, but it's 2022 now. COVID is no longer an excuse for mediocrity, David Shaw. And when I see you out here, hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up. David Shaw. When I see you out here, begging for warnings to be given for somebody pointing at a glove, not saying a word. Just put his glove up, let everybody know he was going to Oregon, and you begging for a warning. I am worried about Stanford football, because if they're focused about, people scoring touchdowns and the player points to his glove and he has an NFL logo and he's telling players, I'm going to be playing on Sundays. So what I had to do is I had to grab my rule book. And I had to go to the non-contact and sportsmanlike conduct by players, because we as officials, we gotta call the game according to the rule book. That's what Coach David Shaw would expect from us. So when I looked down and I read the article number 1, let's go ahead and read the unsportsmanlike rules, because this is how we call the game. It says, no player shall act in an unsportsmanlike manner once the game officials assume authority for the contest. Examples are, but not limited to, baiting or taunting acts or words or insignia worn which engenders ill will. Note, the NFHS disapproves of any form of taunting which is intended or designed to embarrass, ridicule, or demean others under any circumstances. Section B. Using profanity, insulting or vulgar language or gestures. Then we go to C. This is important right here. Any delayed, excessive, or prolonged act by which a player attempts to focus attention upon himself. So when we saw your boy, Mr. 3-star football recruit Jerry Mixon Jr. point to his glove, he didn't say a word, so he wasn't using any profane. I don't think opening your hand and pointing to the logo of your glove, I don't think that's a profane gesture as well. I don't think it demeans other people, unless you're jealous or you're a hater because you're not a 3-star football recruit like Jerry Mixon Jr. So I can't say he was demeaning, because if somebody's got a full ride scholarship to Oregon, we ought to be congratulating that young man and wishing him well in the future. But there's people out there, They're going to play on Fridays. Unfortunately, they won't have the opportunity to play on Saturdays. They won't have the opportunity to play on Sundays. But Jerry Mixon Jr., he has a chance. I don't think he was demeaning, but Article C says any delayed, excessive, or prolonged act by which a player attempts to focus attention on himself. So, David Shaw, you may have a point. I don't think it was excessive. I don't think it was prolonged, but the rule book does say any delayed. And I do believe this was a delayed act to bring focus upon Jerry Mixon Jr. and him having a full ride to Oregon University. And that's why he was pointing at the glove. But you people, you good people out there, let me know. Should the Grandmaster Troll, should I have ran across the field to give number 6, Jerry Mixon Jr., a warning for opening his hand and pointing at the logo and explain to him that, you know, this could be seen as a unsportsmanlike act? Or should I just let it go? Let the kids have fun. Let them play football. Let them enjoy their high school years. Let me know if you think David Shaw was inbounds or if he was out of bounds. Oh no, almost before I go, how did I know that David Shaw had a son playing football? Well, there was a player on Sacred Heart Prep, number 5, who looked a lot like the gentleman on the sideline that happened to be David Shaw. But when I went on Max Prep to pull up said rosters of said individuals, this is what I ended up finding. I went to their rosters and we got number 5 right here, Curtis Shaw, a 6'3" senior. So you guys definitely gotta let me know. Was your boy David Shaw in his feelings that Sacred Heart Prep was underperforming? And is David Shaw feeling the pressure that over the past 3 football seasons, Stanford football is underperforming? Y'all know who this. Like, share, subscribe, donate to the channel, Cash App, the Grandmaster Troll. If you like content like this, it's your boy, the Grandmaster Troll. Peace.